with respect to the social dilemma, I think that that's actually a dangerous path that we're on. You see that with social media. You see that with I think politics actually exhibits that very, very sharply. If you look at the pattern of for example, senators voting against their party, if you look at that in the 100 years ago and then 50 years ago and today, it's the trend is very, very clear. I mean, it's people are just like, the probability of that happening is diminishing over time until the point where we're talking about somebody voting against their party as like a defection, right? Rather than somebody actually expressing their opinion. You vote for somebody in the expectation they have your interest and their opinion, and they end up voting 99.9% of the time just what the party says. So that's one thing. But in terms of giving a set of diverse results for recommendations and exposing people to things outside of their own interest or what they're already primed to think and accept. I think that's a big problem, and that's something that we as an industry have to come to terms with. I think specifically in something like shopping, that's probably not very problematic. In something like politics, it's incredibly problematic, right? Yeah, I mean, I think it's the onus is both on the operators and the people who actually own the platforms to try to solve the problem, but also on platforms like ours, being able to surface things like, hey, you have these like bubbles of content in the way that people consume your content. You should be aware of that. You should, if you care about it, you should try to fix it, but at least you should be aware of it. Yeah, and there's an infinite amount of work ahead of us. I think Google has made a lot of progress on that front. Almost all of it is internal to Google at this point that I know of. But there already is work and research on how to address those issues, but they're very far away from the mainstream and how most people actually consume and use those platforms.
Okay, I think, in terms of recommendations, you can have your engine say, okay, you voted for this candidate, maybe you will also like this candidate, vote for him also.
Yeah. Yeah. Or at least know that you're in a bubble. I mean, you're right. I mean, I think that even tag, it's going to sound crazy, but just tagging things even on Facebook, just have a tag, this article, you will like it, but it's inside your echo chamber. You will like it because it's you already agree with everything that it says. Okay, just so you can read it anyway, but there's a tag on it. It's like it's echo chamber. Even knowing that is hard today, but it could be interesting just to even float that to customers and to users and see how they react. I don't know how that would go.